Echo and Shadow rose with the sun. Shadow was Echo's best friend. Both of them headed to the bathroom to pee. This morning they were having a contest to see who could pee the longest. So this page may go on for a while. Echo won. Next they had breakfast. Shadow, said Echo, we're going to see our new clients today. Shadow says nothing. Shadow, you want to know who the new clients are? Shadow is silent. So Echo impersonates him. Sure, Echo, tell me about all our new clients. Well, great, Shadow. Glad you asked. It's the Bickersons from Bickersons Bowling Lanes. They're starting a takeout, hot food delivery business, dropship. They want to compete with the drones. Shadow howled at this. Oh, you think that's funny, huh? They're paying customers, Shadow, so let's show some respect. They've already paid half the fee. Shadow howled again. Echo ignored him and went on. And that's where we come in. A little backstory is required here. Echo is a master genius engineer who has built solutions from automatic toilet flushers to socks that walk their way back to the laundry bin. They need us to build a device that will drop the food without having it splat on the dude's front porch, plus it needs to retain its heat. Shadow howled a third time, which makes perfect sense. Shadow is a wolf. After breakfast, Echo and Shadow head to the workshop. I've narrowed it down to 3 designs, said Echo to Shadow, who is absorbed in a game called Wolfman in Space. I have a copper line, vacuum tube, and a slingshot, which is my personal favorite. The copper line works like this. We attach the hot meal to a magnet, and as we fly over the house, the magnet makes the food descend slowly. Shadow whines as he loses one of his spaceships. Shadow, you need to upgrade your neutron shield. See the droid at the helix? But can you pay attention here? We're working. The second design uses pneumatics, and the tube is retractable, but the motor is kind of heavy. And this last one uses a simple trebuchet to project the food forward and down. I added, and I think this is a stroke of genius, Shadow, a gimbal. It's to keep the box from doing somersaults. Hey, let's go see which design the Bickersons like the best. Shadow doesn't move. Hey, let's roll out of here, Shadow. But Shadow is immersed in his game. So Echo loads the tube and sends a bean burrito flying at the joystick. Shadow shrieks and growls. Roar! Quit your belly aching, Shadow. The helix was about to take out your entire planet. We gotta move. We're in the wrong location. A little later, Echo was at the Bickersons Bowling Lanes having a project meeting. The 2 Bickerson daughters were arguing about a neon green bowling ball. The elder Bickersons were bickering about whether to test the hot meal delivery on hot dogs or hamburgers. Shadow was chasing bowling balls, and no one seemed to be paying any attention to Echo. Things were heating up, which makes sense because the Bickersons were fire eaters, which is why they employed dragons. The drones are fine for cold food, but not good for hot food. Mama Bickerson showed him a video on her tablet of a drone of bees carrying a takeout box. All the little bee wings flapping at once cool the food, said Echo. And they're not the most reliable in the spring, said Papa Bickerson. Right. They smell those blossoms and they dive bomb. Echo made one of his signature airplane noises. And then he made some more. For 2 long minutes, the sounds of turbojet engines and missiles whizzing by permeated the room. Finally, Echo broke from his private little dogfight. Right. Okay, so this is what I've come up with. I've got 3 prototypes here. You decide which one you'd like to go with. Well, this got the attention of the dragons, who leaned in on the demonstration. He explained how the copper tube and magnet combination dropped the food with precision, and the copper tube could retain heat for up to 15 minutes. He showed them that the pneumatic tube could be primed with just 1 dragon breath combined with atmospheric pressure from the cooler air outside the tube, steam heating the food as it went down. It was when Echo moved on to explain the trebuchet that a commotion ensued. The Bickersons started to argue about which was best. Echo said, how about I decide which one to build? Cleo said, I agree. And Nico said, why should he get to decide? And Mama said, I really like the copper and magnet solution. It's classy. And Papa said, we gotta think about our cost to build. And then they really began to bicker. The dragons got a hold of the trebuchet and started slinging salt shakers at each other. It went on for a long minute, by which time Echo was thoroughly bored and went off to the lanes to bowl. When, after an entire game, the Bickersons had not completed their argument, he went back to the Lanes Cafe and snuck out his prototypes, telling them they'd be receiving the working model in about 2 weeks. And then they began to bicker about that. So Echo went back to his workshop to build all three. In 2 weeks' time, he was ready for live testing. He would put 3 dragons in the air with identical hot meals and send them back to his house. Shadow volunteered to remain there and test the meals because he was as hungry as, well, a wolf. I'm riding Hazel, said Nico. No, I'm riding Hazel, said Cleo. Mom, said them both. Let Echo ride Hazel, her mother said in that voice she uses when she wants to put the bickering to rest. Echo strapped the trebuchet slingshot to the dragon named Hazel. I want the slingshot, said Nico. No, I get the slingshot, said Cleo. I called it, said Nico. No, you didn't, said her sister, and on and on and on. And finally, when all was ready, Echo hopped on Hazel, Nico mounted Mr. Peeps, and Cleo jumped on Mambo. I don't even want to go into the argument they had over that. Hashtag sad emoji needed here. The way the test would work was that all 3 dragons would take off at once. Whichever arrived with the hottest meal would get 5 points. If they got there first, they got an additional 5 points. And the last 5 points were for general functionality. Cleo and Mambo were shocked to find they'd been eliminated when the copper tube brushed a high electrical wire. Sorry, said Echo. I should have thought of that. Echo's meal never made it, unless you count the squirrels in the neighbor's yard as paying customers. It turned out that Nico was riding the winning horse, or shall we say dragon. The pneumatic tube worked perfectly. The hot meal arrived on a cloud of hot air, and Shadow devoured his meal like a ravenous wolf. Which makes perfect sense. Shadow is, after all, a wolf. And at the end of the day, the Bickersons were refreshingly happy and decided to save their bickering for some other time. Great job, Echo!